It's been a while. I have two sleeping babies here, as always. Sleeping. And I went to get the tire pressure checked. They do it for free in town, and um, every few weeks I have to do that with the tires. But the babies fell asleep, so we were about to go to the park, and it's such a nice fall day. I just love it. The air outside is so fresh. And I drove around the neighborhood, and up on the top of the hill is this beautiful temple. And so I just stopped here to see it, to just be in the shadows of the temple while the babies are sleeping. It's been a crazy week. I just thinking about it makes me want to cry. I want to cry because it's only so much a human being can do physically and mentally, and it's been so much. I guess taking 5 classes in one semester is pretty uphill. As a master's student, and lots of demands, lots of assignments, lots of deadlines, lots of readings, and lots of projects, and I have 5 kids, and now there's this germ that has been going around, and we all have congestions in our nose and throat, and headaches, and not much sleep, and just worries, and all things that have to be done on their deadlines, and just I don't have the time to go inside the temple, but I always feel drawn to it, and I want to be as close as I can. So this is my moment of kind of I can just be here and look at it and feel the peace that is inside. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and open the windows for fresh air and just kill the engine, because it's just such a nice day. It's just such a nice fall day. Oh, this is something the car does. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be funny, but that's what it does when I stop it every time, no matter where I am. So this week it was very interesting. In my social studies methods class, we had to bring 3 different items that define us, and everybody brought we have this Chinese classmate who brought 2 items from China, and we had a girl whose heritage is from Mexico, and she brought a lot of stuff from Mexico and from her grandmother, and like dolls and things like that, and I just brought 3 things. And of course our teacher, the instructor, she had all sorts of things, and the thing I chose was my name tag for my mission, because it defines my name, my family, and my country, because the country flag was there too. And then my savior, that I represented him for 18 months of my life. And the other thing is I brought a name tag that was I wore when I was interning with Perlu Tours and in Hawaii, and that was a delight. That was something I really enjoyed. I could have brought my name tags from the Polynesian Cultural Center too, but it's just that was part. I always say like it was part of my life, part of my schooling, part of my, and this one was like just an opportunity out of the. It was just something new and amazing, and then I brought a necklace that had engraven the name of all my kids, which defines me as a mom. And I don't wear that necklace. I don't really wear necklaces so much, but I have that one, and I have kept it because it just has the names of my kids on it. And It's really great. And I told everybody, before, just keep in mind that I lived for how many years? 10 plus years, 11, 12 years in Japan. And in April, me and my kids had to bring just a suitcase and a carry-on and a backpack with us. So we had to pack up our life literally in 6 suitcases, 6 carry-ons and backpacks. And so I couldn't take a lot of stuff, and I had to leave a lot of stuff behind or throw away stuff. And even when I went to my sister's place, I just threw away or left a lot of stuff. We just didn't come with much. So that was the stuff that I brought. And it just every time when a classmate opened up and talked about themselves and stuff, you can see how their faces light up, and how I don't know, it just does something to you. And then it opens the hearts of those that are around the room, and it builds bridges. Like, once you get to know a person better, there's less barriers, less stereotypes, and less assumptions that you make about that person, and just more like knowing about them. And I think that now our teacher fostered that. Use it in your classroom. And so that was precious. That was really great. And then on Thursday, yesterday, I was feeding the baby's lunch, and we were eating real quick some ramen. And then I look at the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock. When am I supposed to go? And just keep in mind, I had all morning been working on my math homework, which was overdue, because I realized that I did not submit something. I had to go and submit before my class, and I had my class, and I went home, and the next morning I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't do that. So I just already felt like I was behind, and I'm a perfectionist. I cannot do that. I cannot be behind. I have to be on top. Everything has to be top notch. But so I worked on that, and at 12 something, I'm like, well, I have to feed the baby something. And then at 1 o'clock, I'm like, am I not supposed to be at school in like 30 minutes? I grabbed all my stuff as fast as I could and just ran to the car. I made it. Somehow I made it. I was 4 minutes late, but I made it. And I was like, well, that was a close one. Because, they mark you when you're absent, and it's very small classes, like 3 people or 5 or 6 people in the class. So they mark you down. They take points out of your grade because of absence. And it's not my intention. I never intend to be like slacking off or like going somewhere else instead of classes. It's just, that's why I'm here. I'm here to study and to learn. So it's beneficial for me to be there and listen and share information and experience. So that was that. But that was a close one. And then today was early morning. Fridays are my early morning classes, and it was a miracle I made it on time, because traffic is just amazing in the mornings, and the drivers are just so, wow. Yeah, but it's been great. It's been great week with craziness, and one of the kids staying home because of cold-like symptoms, and then just taking medicine over the counter and going the next day to school, because it's the state fair. So they go with school bus to the state fair, and he enjoyed, and we all kind of like share that constant runny nose, congestion, and headache type of I think it's all over the place. It's everywhere now, and not to mention COVID is coming back. So I see a lot of people putting masks on campus, on the supermarkets, and the school of my kids when I go there. And so, yeah, it's just coming around. But since I'm here in the shadows of the temple, I was thinking, I listen to a lot of podcasts or like BYU radio. And there was one, there are a few programs that I really like, and like Constant Wonder or the Lisa Show. They talk about relationships, families, body, what do we think about our bodies and how we see and treat ourselves or others around us. And well, there was a show, what was it called? In Good Faith. And so that person, he invites different people from different faiths or non-faiths at all into his show. And today there was this guy talking. He was atheist before he embraced religion in general. And he said, I guess he was talking about psychology and how psychologists try not to implement religion into their practice because they explain things how they're scientifically, what happens, all the chemicals in our body, and how that affects our emotions and stuff. So he was saying that on the downside of being a psychologist and using religion is that if you talk to your patient regularly, and with time that person starts hearing only about the scientific part of what they're struggling with and how the chemical reactions in their body goes and in their intake of food and habits and healthy or not, like pure physical sense of it, he said that patient will probably turn out and they'll lose their religion along the way, and that's not right. So he said as he embraced religion, I'm not too sure Christian or not, but he said that the moments when you're the most in control and you know where you are and what you have been accomplishing and just feel confident in yourself, that's when you don't need religion the most. That's when you don't need the help of any divine intervention. And the opposite is like the moments when we feel hopeless in the sense of we cannot control the circumstances around us, and when we're just by default floating without direction and just taking one day at a time, that's when we're the most religious, prayerful, submissive, and seeking God in our lives. And I totally agree with that. And those people who manage in their lives to seek God's intervention and His hand in their daily lives, regardless of the amount of their control in it, was that those people are doing great. They're led by God. And really what we're in control with and what we think we're in control with it's just very silver lining gray area kind of, because literally you could wake up in the morning, you could get in your car, you could go to work or school for me or whatever, and you could get in a car accident and you can just be done with this life just like that. You could be done, and you cannot have control over that. You could be sitting on the couch and you could just get a heart attack or stroke or anything, and it can just be done. It could happen anytime, anywhere. So are we really, really, really in control? Maybe to some extent into certain things like daily activities, maybe. But ultimately, I don't think we are. And once we realize that, we just realize that we need God in our lives. We really do. And the more you get to know Him and His nature and His plan for you here and why you're here, and that you get the chance to get back to where He is because you're His child, and only through His Son Jesus Christ, then things start making sense and you start building your life around that concept, and it changes everything, perspective and everything. So that's that. But the temple is one place that to me it's like a magnet, and it always calls my name every time I see it on the top of the hill. I'm just reminded of divine nature We just did not come up from nothing, and after death we become nothing. Like today in my science class, we were doing energy chains and how the sun is the source of energy, and how the producer of food, which is the grass and the basic plants that the first order consumers take in, and then the second order consumers eat the animals that are the first order consumers, and the third, and then the biggest animals, the lions and the mighty animals, they eat the second order consumers, and then the humans are on the top of the chain, right, or the pyramid. But then comes the bacteria and the fungi and then the decomposers. And so even the humans are not as mighty as the decomposers, because what they do is they turn everything into dust, dirt, soil, and minerals, and they go back to the grass through the sun, the energy of the sun, and then they start the process, the cycle again. But there's so much more into that. It's not just that. This is just the physical side of it. Anyways, I love to philosophize. That's my favorite word, by the way. I invented it, I think. I love to philosophize all the time. But I'm gonna head down to the park so the babies can play a little bit before dinner. It's Aloha Friday, yay! One more week is done, and tons of assignments weighing on my neck. So I have to do some more tonight before I go to bed, and then probably tomorrow catch up with the rest so I can have the week cleared up and do the extra projects that I have to do, which I have to find time for it too. And before I start the student observation in teaching, which is going to be fun because I'm excited actually about it. Being among the kids and getting to know them, sharing information with them, learning from them. It's great. I never thought my life is going to turn that way, but hey, it's rewarding. And what's really rewarding is how exact and precise the timing of God is. Just amazing to me. What my kids are now in those grades they are. It's exactly what I'm learning too. Only the methods of it, how to teach it. And it's just amazing because I come home and I know what they have been doing. I know the process and how they're how the school functions, and all the policies and the things and the core, the curriculum and stuff. And so it's like we are all on the same page because we are all learning the same thing. Only they're learning it from their perspective and I'm learning as a teacher perspective. So I'm very, very grateful. God has his hand in my life since I was a little kid, and I cannot deny it. I'm grateful for it, and I'm gonna go home now. To the park and home. Bye.